and it's your girl Nena Madu. Yes, I know it's always annoying some people when I say this, but I'll keep saying it because it's always very purpose. Anyways, last week we looked at how to effect a great team in your office. So as a manager or as an employee, how do you effect a great team born in your workplace? And before I go into what we're going to be talking about this week, I just want to ask you guys, how are we doing? How is it going out there? These numbers, you guys are not helping matters. So this week we are going to be talking about risk-taking culture in your office. So what are those things what are the risks that you have put in place for your employees to be able to follow and to make this to grow your business? So when we hear risk, we already think that, what's this one say? Risk is bad, blah, blah, blah. But there are some good risk and there are some bad risk. So good risk is those ones that you've taken, you've understood what's happening in the environment, and you've gone ahead to take this risk with the hope that everything is going to be all right. Sometimes it doesn't get all right. Sometimes it becomes a very big opportunity. Meanwhile, bad risk is gamble. Like, you already have the knowledge that this is not going to work. You already have the knowledge that, man, this is going to mess us up, but you're going ahead to do it. Most times, some businesses do it. It's part of how they do things, but most times it's just being careless. Like, it doesn't just make sense going through a bad risk. But in all, everybody that is doing one business or the other is already practicing a kind of risk taking. So how do you have this risk taking culture for your employees so that they can be able to make calculated risk and affect the company itself? So having a risk taking culture means that your employees understand the precaution that they are supposed to take and how to take a calculated risk, and how this particular thing, that if they do it, how it's going to affect the business deeply. So for example, imagine in my field, which is the procurement profession, and imagine me sending a purchase order without the proper terms and conditions to any supplier out there, and the purchase order gets, as in, blows up, or something happens with the order, and the company, because of I've not protected the company enough with the terms and conditions, the company is liable to be sued, and that is just going to blow up. Like, it's just something that you do not want to occur in your business. So you need to be able to tell your have a culture that tells your employees that if you do not do these things this way, this is what is going to happen to the company. So when you have employees that are taking the right risk and making the right decisions, and you have your culture embodied in them, then your business stands a chance of winning, and your business stands a chance of being great and surpassing any problem that is thrown at them. So we understand that mistakes are bound to happen in businesses and in offices, and during the course of your work. That is why you need to always evaluate your business, your risk-taking culture, so that you will be able to address any mistake that comes in. So if there is a mistake that has been made, it needs to be addressed heads on, so that it doesn't have a reputation of it in the future. So making mistake is always part of the plan. It's always part of the business. It's always part of whatever it is that you're trying to try out in the market. But when you continue making that same mistake, that is when there is a problem with your business. So risk-taking culture has to be something that needs to be reevaluated, especially if you're just a small business or you're just starting out your office and your employees are still new people in the labor market without so much experience. So you need to always hit anything that comes up as a mistake heads on, address it, and make sure that you are communicating this with your employees. We can all agree that taking good risk can lead to fantastic and great opportunities for your business. So it is not a time to be scared, but it's a time to embrace opportunities that come your way and take risks regardless. So what are the benefits of taking this good risk if your risk eventually turns out to be good? So it encourages critical thinking, especially for your employees. So they've taken risks, they've understood before they take that risk, they are thinking of different ways that decision that they're trying to make is going to help the company. So there is a critical thinking, there is a problem solving mindset, there is always innovative ways that you can use to meditate anything that they have tried before going ahead with that risk. Learn new skills. When you take risk, you tend to learn new skills and also evolve in the one that you already have, in the knowledge of things that you already know. So you're either learning or you are evolving when you take risk. Also, you will be able to conquer fear of failure. So there are some people that they've never taken risk in their life. Some businesses very dear, like anything that is going to be good for them, they are always calculating profit. If it doesn't look like profit, they are not doing. So but what I'm trying to say is that when you take risk, it helps you to eliminate fear of failure. So fear of doing it regardless, fear of this thing has a way of working 40%, not working 60%, but I'm just going to go ahead of it because if it turns out great, it's going to be great anyways. Makes your team to be creative with whatever it is that they are coming up with. So they are coming up with things that can help this risk to be managed properly, and it also builds trust amongst you and your team. So you are trusting in yourself and you're trusting in your team. When the risk that you have taken comes out effective and comes out, finally you get to have self-confidence. Like there is nothing that is as interesting as having self-confidence. So when you take all these risks, you tend to have good confidence for yourself. When you're a risk-taking person, your confidence is not going to be, because you have this the confidence to be able to talk to people. You have the confidence because your money is on the line anyway. So what's the point of you not being able to talk to somebody when the person is holding your money? So you have to address it heads on and be able to approach people more and be confident about yourself. Because when it heals, you'll not be like, wow. When it heals good, you'll not be like, I'm a thinking person. Then that confidence will come in. You'll be able to go ahead in the future and do great things for yourself. Just so you know, by not taking risk, you will lose opportunity. You will lose out opportunity. Let's quickly look at what the kind of risk that you as a business, you should be planning for. First of all, economical and financial risk. So we see how the economy is. Example, this dollar period, like you see how it's becoming a trend, like especially for this part of the nation, this Nigeria. The dollar, we've seen how much it is in the black market, how it's going up, going down. We don't even know, we don't have like a detailed instruction on how the devaluation, and it's almost like it's going to that it's going to the road of devaluation. So all these things are trends. It's something that, although they can say different factors, is basically causing this naira to go down, e.g. the oil price and blah blah blah. But these are trends. If your business had in place trends of how things are going in the economy and in the financial sector, then you will be able to know when to have money, when to have a good cash flow, and when to not invest your cash in things that are unnecessary. So even as much as I know that we might come out of it soon, but it will definitely not be the same, especially with the whole pandemic that has happened. So you need to be able to, your business needs to be able to plan for economical, financial risk. You need to be able to minimize your debt at great level. I understand that a lot of business do things with loans and stuff like that, but you need to be able to calculate what you're using those loans for, so that you can avoid being indebted to financial institution that can cause your business to ruin, especially as a small business operation and a startup business. As a business, you need to be able to keep up with compliance. So you need to check your compliance risk. What this means is that you need to be able to keep up with the rules and regulations and new laws that are being stated in your constituencies. So for example, all these small businesses, like I know the period of maybe bikes, delivery bikes, I knew there was a time that seizing bikes and seizing their bike because of you don't have one paper or the other. So you as a business, you need to be able to check your compliance and keep up to date. So if there's a new law that concerns your industry, or if there's a new certificate that you need to have, or if there's something that needs to be done that probably needs to be to cost like 10,000 naira to achieve or to get, then because you are not up to date with what's happening with the rules, the regulations, and the laws, you end up being confiscated, or there will be that embarrassing time of people storming into your office, and it becomes a thing of penalty instead of a thing of just addressing and getting it over with. So you need to plan your compliance risk as a business. Another risk that you need to be planning as a business is reputational risk, and this also goes for individuals. So as an individual, we have in this social media era, we have seen a lot of things that happens on on one of all these social media platforms. So as an individual, you're encouraged, even minus business, as an individual, you're encouraged to always Google yourself and and check out what it is that people are saying about you, and try to immediately address it, so that there will be whatever it is that they are saying, and then there will be your response if someone searches about you. So that is what we call reputational risk. So we know that during COVID time, there were some when COVID first came into Nigeria, there were some companies that a lot of media and rumors and bad press, they were coming out to say, oh, the COVID patient was seen in this office, and most of those companies came out to respond and quickly address the situation, because you don't want a situation whereby they will Google your company and then they will see something bad about it, and then other businesses will not want to do something with you. Maybe they will see, oh, so and so company is affiliated with one fraud, or affiliated with EFCC, or searches like that will now be. So you need to always search yourself and make sure you are either addressing any error that has to do with the reputation of your company, or you are at least responding to it, so that there will be a response and an accusation, or whatever the case may be. This will help to save your reputation and also to bring more business to you. Another thing that I want to address, another risk that every business should be planning for, is operational risk. So we've seen that in this COVID-19, immediately it started, and this lockdown, a lot of companies, decided to let their staffs go and say, oh, we're not going to pay you for this month because you're not coming to work and everything. But those kind of things would have been avoided, especially if you're not in the industry like cinemas, that I can understand. But all those companies that you can actually still do effective work from home, what was the point of sending your staffs home and not paying them. If you had planned for a business continuity plan, So what this does for you is that in any situation, although nobody planned for this kind of for a pandemic like this, that we resort to staying at home and stuff like that, but a lot of big companies have also been able to put things in place so that their staffs can be mobile enough to work, especially those that do not need to stay in the office. So this is what every business should emulate. You should be able to have a business continuity plan to be able to mitigate your operational risk. Apart from COVID, what if there's a fire outbreak in your office at this moment? What will be the fate of your operations? Are they going to continue, or is your business going to shut down? Are you storing things in cloud? Do you have your essential documents stored somewhere that does not have to be just your computer in the office or your files? Those are ways that you can be able to mitigate operational risk and look into. Finally, on the kind of risk that every business should be doing, looking at and addressing, is comfort risk. So we know that people tend to relax when they probably have a good clientele, a project that they are working on, blah blah blah. So but what I'm trying to say is that you can never be too comfortable, especially as a business that is trying to grow, that is trying to be sustainable, that is trying to be an employer of labor and help the economy. You cannot be comfortable in your position. You need to be able to reevaluate your process, reevaluate whatever it is that you're doing, make it better, make it faster, always be ahead, look at what your competitors are doing and do it better. Always be one step ahead. You cannot just leave it when your competitors have already gone digital and automated and all of that. You are still in paper and biro time, or you are still in typewriter time. So you need to not be comfortable, because it can be a risk for your business. Before you know it, one smart guy there that someone has just invested in will just come and do your business better. So you need to always reevaluate your process and be able to think forward thinking, be able to go more look at what others are doing and tend to do it better. So you need to, so the summary of everything I've said is that you need to have a risk-taking culture that you instill in your employees, and you need to encourage them to take good risk. Good calculated risk will always bring you good opportunities. Will always bring you opportunities that are once in a lifetime to get, and you'll be happy that you're doing it. So, but you need to first of all let your employees know what it is that they need to do and what it is that they do not need to do. You need to encourage them so that they will know the implication of taking bad risk, so that for the overall progress of your company. Again, there are different things that you need to be looking at. There are risks that every business needs to be emulating, every business needs to be looking forward to, which is economical, financial risk, comfort risk, compliance risk, reputational risk, operational risk, and the rest of it. So we've come to the end of this episode, and it's also our 20th episode. Yay! So as we go into season 3 of Office Talks with Nena Madu, it's going to be more chilled and more of office surroundings and really not business talk. So I hope you enjoyed this section with me. Please kindly like, kindly share, kindly comment, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel. It doesn't take anything from you. Office Talks with Nena Madu. So till next time, guys. And next week I'm going to be talking about myself, so you better join me if you want to get to know me more. All right, guys, till next time. Bye.